And welcome to In-Game Chat for Saturday, January 21st, 2017. It is Season 11, Episode number 3. I'm Scott.
I'm RJ.
And I'm Matt.
Welcome to the show. If you'd like to get in touch with us, our phone number is 334-272-9228, 334-272-9228. Check out InGameChat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter at InGameChat. You can also find us on Facebook, same name. You can email us, everyone, at InGameChat.net. We are streaming on the internet, audio-wise and video. We're over at Twitch. Head over to twitch.tv and search for In-Game Chat. A little search box up at the top. And just search for In-Game Chat. You'll be able to find us, and you can watch the show and listen to the show, and then you can join in the chat room there with other people and chat live while we broadcast the show. So, welcome, everyone. Brand new music, of course, this week. It is a new episode, which means new music to go in and out of our breaks with.
From RJ?
No, this didn't come from RJ.
Okay.
This time, no. Oh, show note for everybody that we will not be here. We're going to run a repeat next week. Lots of things going on. RJ's going to... Well, RJ and Matt are both going to a Comic-Con up in Birmingham. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to San Antonio for PAX South. So it kind of worked out quite well.
Yeah.
Since neither of them told me that they were doing this last weekend when I said, hey, you going to be here next week? And I'm pretty sure everybody said... Or no, that's right. We didn't ask that question.
You said we're going to be here this week, which we are.
I might need to start checking 2 weeks in advance. Just to be sure. Because that would have surprised me this weekend if I'd have been like, hey, you going to be here next week? Nope, going to Comic-Con. All right, well, I guess it'll be good with Matt. Matt, you going to be here next week?
Nope,
going to Comic-Con. Oh, crap. So, yeah, I might start doing that. Might get a little bit ahead of the game on this one.
So if anyone's in the local area and wants to go up to Birmingham next week, you can see RJ and me in Comic-Con.
Hey, if anybody... Nah, you'll be in costume, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so nobody will know if it's you or not. You'll know it's them.
Or will they?
I don't know. But
I think by now everybody knows what to look for.
Yeah. If anybody's going to be in San Antonio,
yeah,
I'll be there. Hey, real quick before we get started. There we go. I'm
Good
done.
Man.
No, we're not doing a road trip, Zufu.
Are you going together road trip? Why aren't you going together?
Because I don't know what time he's
Actually,
coming
wait
back.
a second. Before we walked in today, neither one of you knew the other one was going, right?
True.
Right.
Yeah. What? See, what folks... Here's what you don't know is that
we're not friends in real life.
We don't really talk to each other outside of the show for the most part. I mean, we talk on G-Chat and stuff, but that's just sending stupid pictures and like, oh, here's what I did to my 3DS, or
or in game sometimes.
Yeah, or hey, we got a book delivered to us today, or something like that.
Yeah.
So that book, by the way, is still downstairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the press release that came with it. I know Medusa Mirror, she can't hear what we're saying. Wait a second, can she?
I don't know, can she?
She only has access to the chat room, so she can't hear what we're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a book, and I can't remember what the name of the book was called. It's like How Video Games Can Save the World, I think. Something like that. I'll have to go look at it. It was sent to us, so I have not read it at all. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. I woke up this morning with some sniffles, so I am going to do my best to try and get rid of that before I get on a plane on Thursday.
Yeah.
And head to San Antonio.
Liquor.
I haven't been to San Antonio in
I hardly know
14 years.
Just kidding.
Yikes.
What?
I haven't been to San Antonio in 14 years.
I haven't been to San Antonio in a year.
Ah.
When I went last year. And won that big cinnamon roll. You remember me winning the big cinnamon roll?
Yeah.
I did the Texas. It was Texas Twist or something poker, and it was some booth, and you had to have the best hand. And every 3 hours, they would pick the best hand from those past 3 hours, and you'd win this massive.
Here's some glazed heart
It was like
attack.
a 5-pound cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on that trip to Big Lou's Pizza.
I got to do it. You know, okay, my situation has worked out where I might actually do it this year. So Monday, it's like I fly out Thursday very early morning. I get into town at like 7 or 8 a.m. I get into San Antonio. My hotel room will not be ready at that point, probably. Oh God, I had a dream about my hotel room last. I had some weird dreams last night. But so that's good on the flight in. I always like getting there early, so I got time to just kind of relax and take a look at things and do whatever. My flight back, I usually like to do something either early in the morning so it gets me back, because when I do Seattle, it's an all-day thing. If I don't leave by 6 a.m. Seattle time, that gets me back into town at like 4 in the afternoon. But if I don't hit that 6 a.m. time, any other flight after that's going to put me at like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Getting back, because it's an all-day deal. San Antonio, the only flight back that would keep the price low was 6:30 at night on Monday, which gets me back into town at like 10:30 Monday night. So I've got all day Monday to do nothing. And so I might hit it up on Monday. What I might do is hit it up on Sunday. That way I can enjoy the food coma.
Yeah, recover.
Right, Monday, and then get on the plane that night. So we'll see. I need to do that, though. I've missed it. It's twice I've missed it now, so I don't want to make it a third. So, yeah. What else? Yeah, so no show next week. We're doing a replay next week that we'll do. And, yeah, we'll be back on schedule again. But, yeah, all new music this week. Hopefully you enjoy the selections that we picked. If not, guess what? All new music next week. Doesn't matter. You don't like it this week? New stuff? Well, it won't be new next week because we won't be here. But the next one we will be. I brought VR. VR is down in the car. Woohoo! Yep. The PSVR, I was originally going to give this to RJ first, but I'm switching it over to Matt now because Matt's going to be out of town a few weekends in February. So you'll get it this weekend, and you'll have it next weekend, and then the next show we do, bring it back, and we'll hand it over to RJ. So,
Roger.
Shouldn't have to tell you on the air or off the air. Take care of my stuff.
Oh, of course. I'll treat it better.
Expensive.
Better than my own. Yeah, no, I am super vigilant about that.
Yeah, I also included all the games that I have that are VR. Which is only 2 real games and then 2 demo discs.
And I'll download the demo for Scarif, so I could. The VR mission for Rogue One.
Battlefront.
Yeah, Battlefront.
Yeah, you should do that. You should also just download any kind of VR demos you want to experience.
I definitely want to experience
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although that might not go well. I might be a little scared. Crying tonight. I don't know.
I haven't played it.
Yeah.
I'm too scared.
I figure I can always just close my eyes.
I'm too scared.
I think it's that bad.
I'm scared. Yeah, it's scared.
It's like I know. Is Alien Isolation in the VR, or is that just on the PC?
PC. Yeah, it's just a PC thing. So they did enable the 360 YouTube videos.
Okay.
Are watchable now in PlayStation VR.
Nice.
So.
Those are neat. Like I see them on my phone every now and then. Just like,
yeah, they did the inauguration that way just yesterday, where you could watch it in 360, 360 degrees. At least on my phone, but I know that can translate to VR stuff as well. So yeah, there's a couple of different kind of videos on YouTube that you can watch that are in 360, and it's really it's a little interesting, but really the immersive experiences stuff you get out of the game, like Batman and Resident Evil and stuff like that, really immersive.
See, that's what I like. Zufu's talking about the Resident Evil 7 with the VR headset. I'm really looking forward to that. Almost as much, just a little bit less, but almost as much as the Star Wars, because I haven't I've been thinking about like
Star Wars, you'll crap your pants, man. That's just so awesome. Seriously.
Yeah.
It's an X-wing. You're flying an X-wing.
Yeah. It's almost worth, depending
The stuff
on how
James
well
was doing with this when I took it over for him to demo was fantastic. Whenever we did that, just to watch him, go through and play that whole thing, and when you destroy a TIE fighter and it does that spinny thing and you just fly right on through, you blow it up and you go through the explosion. It's great stuff, man. It's fantastic.
I can't wait. Do you have the Move controllers?
Yeah, the Move controllers are in there. Yes, everything is in there. The Move you need a camera. That's all. I don't have the camera.
Got that.
So
do you have a camera, RJ?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah,
got one to the Black Friday sales.
Move controllers and the charge cables for the Move controllers, which are they're not specialized, but they're not the same as what you would charge your headset or your PS4 controllers with.
Okay,
it's the stuff you need
micro USB.
Yeah, it's I think macro. It's the size bigger than that.
Oh yeah, that old school.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than that.
Okay.
So it's not the really tiny one; it's a little bit bigger one. So
I do have some of those laying around.
Yeah,
but I haven't been scared by a Resident Evil game. I don't think really. Since the first one, when the dogs jump through the window.
Keep talking for a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. So when I played the demo, just on my television, it was frightening. It was definitely that I don't want to move forward, even though I know I have to. So let me just like inch forward. Then like something happens, I'm just gonna stay in this room for a bit.
Yeah.
I don't. So I'm looking forward because I enjoy being scared in video games. Because it's that sense of controlled fear, like roller coasters or movies where, you're kind of scared, but it's not like truly, because it's not real.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that a lot.
I think in my case, I've been the same boat as you for terms of true fear was the first one.
Yeah.
Even though I played the series completely backwards.
Oh, really? What'd you start with?
The first one I started with was Code Veronica.
That was a really good one.
Yeah, it was a very good one. Yeah,
and I'm not saying like the other Resident Evils aren't good. They, I mean, some are excellent. Some are. 4 was enjoyable. I really liked 4. 3.
4 had a good time with 4.
Yeah, 5 was starting to be, and 6 I didn't even finish. I just
4 had a good time with. 5 I also did as well, but not as much as 4. 6 I haven't started. Really, I think I did.
I got like a little bit, and then I'm just like, what?
Yeah. I just started like the first little bit of it with Leon's story with with the president, and I forget the lady's name. I couldn't see
exactly.
See, I forgot her name.
Yeah,
but
exactly
I just started it, and then I stopped, and then I haven't played it since. And then I had that Black Friday when I picked up the camera. I picked up 4, 5, and 6 on the PlayStation 4.
And I still have 6 on my hard drive, so like I could go back to it anytime. But I'm just like, I look at it and then like, oh, there's other stuff that I know that I'd much rather play. Eventually, I will. I mean, I ran through Colonial Marines. I ran through some of these games that like, so eventually I will go through it.
Yeah.
But as of now, but I haven't been scared since that first one.
How about the remake of the first one?
I loved it.
Okay, yeah.
I actually really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I downloaded that one, but I haven't started playing that one yet either.
Some people gave it pause or issues with it.
Yeah.
Hold on, Scott.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So some people had some issues with it. Some people gave it pause. I've heard some pro and con. Personally, I liked it.
Whoever that was, call back.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yammering over here, but I liked how it still felt like the Resident Evil. I remember talking with Jeremy. He's like, well, they got rid of the cheesy dialogue, and the cheesy dialogue is what it is, So who doesn't roll their eyes at Jill Sandwich or Master of Unlocking or just all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's neat to have that as well as the remaster because even though they feel the same as far as like environment and whatever, it's nice to have like a cheesy B version of the movie and like an actual horror version of it. So I really liked that one. Resident Evil 0, I played through it. I forgot about it.
Really just didn't last with you, huh?
It all right, it's got slugs in it. I don't know.
I'm not familiar with them, honestly. I've never played through... I played through Resident Evil 5.
Okay. You did that co-op,
Me
right?
and James did that co-op, yeah.
Yeah.
And the gameplay in that was just so much different than the other ones. It became less about survival horror and more about.
No, that was much more
Action.
action-oriented
Yeah,
than
action
anything
oriented.
Yeah,
else.
I think throughout the series, it just progressively went up more and more towards action, and not
Became more
Not
Michael
hard.
Bay-ish.
yeah.
7, whatever this is.
Six.
Yes. No, this
Six?
one.
Oh,
This
yeah,
one.
seven, yeah.
This one feels very much more,
Back to basics.
Horror.
Back to
yeah.
you know.
It's very spooky, creepy.
Yeah.
Let's go to the phones, talk to Zufu.
What
Hey,
up?
man.
Hey guys, I just wanted to join in on the Resident Evil chat.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk with them because I am an idiot to Resident Evil. I don't have much experience or knowledge about the franchise as much as these two guys do. So go right ahead.
Are you about to be a Zufu sandwich?
Unfortunately, I don't know if I can get out since I'm not a master of unlocking.
Yeah.
yes.
For me, it's actually the opposite. Like, it's one of the earliest game memories I have in terms of the PlayStation era.
Mm-hmm.
I remember walking to Blockbuster to actually rent it and bringing it back home. And like Matt was saying, how that dog jumping through the window was a game changer because never before in games like was that ever something like that even came remotely close to like giving you that kind of jump scare.
I was in the first time I played that. I was in college, and we're all a group of us. I was hanging out with some guys in one of the fraternities, and we're all in one of their rooms, right?
Mhm.
And the guy had the PlayStation. I'm like, "Ooh, hey, a PlayStation! That's I've seen it before a few times with some friends, but I haven't seen Resident Evil." I'm like, and so there's like a group of us around the TV, a little. CRT TV back in the day, but the lights were out and everything. And I'll never forget when the guys had the controller, and as soon as that happened, he actually like flew the controller in the air and screamed. It's like, all right, I guess who's next?
Yeah.
So that, for that time in like 96 or
I
so,
will check on that for you.
that really was,
That was the
kind
first
of
one, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of like a first, that like scare, like, wow, I haven't been this scared by a jump scare in a game, really, that I think before that.
Yeah. Can you imagine if we had Let's Plays back then?
Oh,
of
man.
Of that moment. The number of
I would
videos
have
that
loved to
would've been
see
like
like, and it's not. I don't think you could really go back and like have like younger kids like here's Resident Evil, kids react to RE1 because they'd be like, all right, these controllers are stupid, and
Yeah.
what's with this big pixelated block of
March 22nd, 1996.
All right, 96.
Yeah. The dog scare. Yeah, it did make me jump when I played it, but more than anything else was those dang spiders, man.
The
The tarantulas. Those.
the shark.
No.
I
Spiders.
don't like sharks.
The spiders is what got me, man. Really.
What else got you there, Zufu?
Why would sharks scare you?
Yeah.
Besides
Why?
Jaws.
Have you not seen Jaws?
Well, I've seen it, but like the best way
That is to me like my worst horror movie.
So don't go in the ocean.
I don't.
Well, I know.
do not go in the ocean.
But it's just
I didn't go into swimming pools for a long time.
that's why sharks don't scare me though. It's because it's like if I know how to. It's like spiders. I don't like spiders, and those are I can be asleep and have a spider on me, and I never know.
Oh no, sharks.
I can be paranoid about spiders and snakes and other things. Sharks, man.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Just stay out of the water.
River.
problem.
There's a shark in it. I'm sure, even though it's like ankle deep.
So watch out for those gators. Those
Yeah,
giant alligator things I've been seeing in.
Water moccasins.
Yeah.
That Florida
Which
gator.
which Resident Evil was that in? The Gator was it 2?
Yes.
You're asking the wrong guy. I have no
Yes, it
idea.
was.
Okay, yeah. All right.
But yeah, Zufu. Any other parts really get you other than that dog jump, the window?
There were so many. I guess it's been such a long time, but that one is like the most vivid memory that I have was the dog one. It's also one of the earliest things that happened in the game. But in terms of playing the demo, I just only heard about it like maybe about a week ago.
Oh.
I'm kind of late to the party, so I paid it I think on Monday, and I got that immediate feeling of being back to the whole survival horror, like true survival horror, where you don't have like 50 bullets in your gun, and these zombies aren't bullet sponges where they just keep coming. So it's a totally authentic callback to the original Resident Evil. So that's why I'm excited.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure which version of the demo they're up to. Is it still just like the house and you're trying to get out?
Yes, but I think I saw there was an update, a patch, and this is what's interesting is that there's so many layers, because even if you beat the demo with the good ending, there's actually another side quest, and it's really obscure, like very PT, where it's not something that it's apparent. You have to really put the things together, and everyone online kind of puts their heads together and they kind of figure it out little by little. So.
Oh, so there's a good ending? Because, like, for me, no matter what, it ended with, getting stabbed.
Oh, yeah, there definitely is. I had to watch some YouTube videos. Like with PT, I think Kojima was really surprised when someone actually beat it as early as they did, because he had in mind, I think he said it was supposed to take a few weeks, maybe months, for people to beat the demo.
Yeah.
But some girl did the stuff just by accident, and she beat it like the first day, and then, everyone saw Norman Reedus, and they freaked out. But I don't know if it would be that lucky this time for Resident Evil.
PT reminded me a lot of this demo. Both of them were, like, I know I need to move forward, but I'm just going to stand in this one position because I know it's, there's something out there. When I move forward, there's something that's going to grab me.
Mm-hmm. Feel free to stream.
Oh, yeah.
Feel free to stream your experience.
I don't think people just need to hear me yelling like,
I mean, I'm just offering the option to
high pitched screaming.
Stream your experience playing Resident Evil in VR.
All right, you can stream from the VR.
Well, you can you can stream your gameplay. You can't.
Okay.
There won't be a camera on you.
Okay.
Because the camera's being used to track your movement.
Your head. Okay.
But you can stream, the stuff that you're seeing, and your mic. I think your microphone as well can stream.
Okay.
So you can do that. What were you saying, Zufu? I talked all over you. I'm so sorry.
No problem. So I was thinking, what would it take for you to actually get you to play Resident Evil? Will you have to be with someone to play it, or
are you talking about me?
Yeah, to give it a try.
No, a good amount of money.
Some liquor.
A good amount of money, and I'll play that thing. But anything else, no. It's just that
vodka.
I don't know. It is a different experience when you're with a group of people playing the game.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, there is that, but I don't know. I again, this lore that it has it escapes me. Like I said, I've only dipped my toe into 5, and 5's not a real good barometer of the series.
Definitely not. Yeah. Not even close.
I tried to go through in 6, and that didn't work. And that didn't work not because it was scary, but because the controls felt weird, or there was some problem. Me and James tried to go through 6 as well together, and there were problems with that, and we just didn't like it.
Yeah, 6 did feel off.
Yeah.
I remember it feeling very off when I was playing that.
Yeah.
Compared to 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, I think this is kind of like a resetting, even though it's still kind of, in
I've
the
watched
universe.
people play this demo.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a resetting of the lore.
But I have not. and even when I'm watching, I'm kind of looking down, being like, I'll look at my phone to kind of distract me, like, yeah, go in there. Sure,
now I haven't played the demo. Is there any ties to Umbrella or anything like that at all?
Well,
you want spoilers or no?
I was about to say the ending has been released.
Okay.
Really? Wow.
4chan has posted the ending with pictures and speculation of what this means and all sorts of stuff. I went ahead and read it because obviously I have no attachment whatsoever to the series. Mm-hmm. So, but reading it means nothing to me because any kind of callbacks they're doing or references they're making, I don't get.
Other people will be like, "Oh my goodness," and you're just like,
right.
Okay.
But there's a subreddit for the game, and there's a nice long thread on the discussion of what that ending is supposed to mean. So, are there ties into the other? Speculation seems to be that yes, there is.
Okay.
But there's no way I could tell you how.
Okay.
So.
I'm hoping that this is the beginning of a new franchise where they kind of keep with the same formula, because where they went wrong with the other series was that they became more action based, and the reason people were saying, why are they going so far away from what made the series popular is that it was making money. Like, there were some kids who grew up and their introduction to Resident Evil was Resident Evil 5 or 6, and to them it's known as an action series, an action genre, and the game sold well. So you're not going to make those kind of games unless you have the financial, feedback. So to see that they kind of went against the grain and tried to do it all over again.
The only way I would say that this is probably going to be a standing formula for how they do the games would be it's got to sell well. If it does not sell well, then they'll go back to the drawing board again, or they'll find what sold well and stick with that or something like that. So, I mean, if the thing does great numbers and it says, and good reviews and everything else, and it sort of tells corporate that, look, this is what the people wanted, then they'll continue to give you, hopefully, what you want. But I think it'll do fine. I think it'll do well. I think.
I hope there's enough buzz around it.
I think so. I think there will be. Anything else, Sufu? We got to take a break, but you're more than welcome to take us into another topic if you'd like.
No, I think that'll be it for today. Thanks, guys.
All right, man.
Now. Take care now.
Thank you so much for calling. And if you would like to call into the show, please do. 334-272-9228 is the number. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more in-game chat. Let's jump into our music. This is from Overwatch. It's the main menu music there. Anyway, that and more in-game chat right after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat with music from Quantum Break. This track is called Time and Machines. Very Deus Ex sound to it. I'm not sure who the composer for this was, by the way, so I don't know. Anyway, welcome back to the show, and we haven't even talked about what we've all played. I'll start with me. Destiny again, but I have to say that I think I am done.
For a while?
Well, Iron Banner was this week,
Okay.
and I finished that up. I got all 3 characters up to level 5, but I believe that that I'm done. They were going to do the Valentine's Day event thing that they did last year, but they've scrapped that for something else. I don't know what it's going to be, but it'll come later in the spring. Whatever we get. So
until the next event comes up, you're putting it on the shelf?
I really think, maybe I'll do Iron Banner again when it rolls around in February, and then again in March when it does. But I mean, I am done. I did the new raid. I did the new raid hard mode version. I did the raid with the 2 challenges. Those are complete. I got my Outbreak Prime weapon this past week. I finished up the Rise of Iron record book. I got all those things completed this past week. So, I mean, everything that they can possibly throw at me at the end of the year to say, here are your moments of triumph for year 3, I think I'm covered.
Cool.
I think I'm covered. So, but yeah, I have done, there are 2 things that I lack.
Mm-hmm.
And that is doing a raid flawlessly with nobody on your team dying, because there is an achievement for that. There's a trophy for that. And then the other thing is I think you can do it with probably 3 Guardians, but you probably want to get, I'm not sure how many Guardians can be no, you can have 6. Yeah, you can have 6 Guardians in a public space, which is the most you can have. We have to go to the Iron Temple, and you have to ring the bells to play out the Rise of Iron theme. And if you do that, you get a trophy. Those are the 2 trophies I lack in all of Destiny.
And you can't do that by yourself?
You can't do it by yourself because the time between hitting the bells is, it's got to be dong, 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 dong. And they're placed in different things. So you have to have Guardians positioned at the places and then go, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then doom, doom, doom,
One of
doom.
them coordinated effort things.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And then you get a trophy for it. So those are the only two things I'm lacking, and I am not really in a rush to get those done. So, so yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much done with Destiny for a while. I started up Inside last night.
Okay.
Inside. By the way, there is a flash sale going on right now on the PlayStation Store.
Right.
Everything is $5 and under, so you're not going to find any like massively new games here.
Yeah.
But everything is under $5, so they're not.
Something old that you thought about a while back but didn't pick it up because of the price. You can pick it up now.
Yeah, they're not really deal breakers because it's less than $5. So give it a shot and see. The Order 1886 is available for under $5.
That's probably about a good price to pay for.
That's not a bad price at all. It used to be $9, and I said, hey, if you haven't played it yet, $9, go ahead and pick it up. Under $5, sure, why not?
Yeah,
not bad at all. Again, that was a game that looked great.
Probably not the most replayable.
It isn't. It's a single player game, and it really only has
quick.
Huh?
I heard it went in pretty quick.
I finished it in one night. I finished it in probably a 6-hour stint and got it done.
Yeah.
And it's short. The story's not good at all. The gameplay is whatever. The only thing it's got is it's got really good. I really enjoyed the soundtrack, and it looks really good. That's about all you got going for that game, and it's under $5. So why not if you haven't played it? So there's that. So I started Inside last night, and
is that the guy? Is that done by?
It's done by
folks that made Limbo, wasn't it?
Yes. Oh, Limbo. Yeah. I forget. Yeah, I forget. But between that and Jonathan Blow.
Yeah, no, Jonathan Blow does Witness.
That's right.
And Braid.
Yeah.
This is Inside, done by the same people who did Limbo.
Which is
got a very similar feel.
Okay.
Massively. It is a side scroller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a side scroller with horribly violent deaths that come out of nowhere,
just like Limbo.
Yeah.
That spider.
Yeah, the spider in Limbo was one thing, but I was looking at the video for Inside. Those him escaping from the dogs or those traps that was laying for him. He was trying to get to where he was trying to go.
I had a great moment last night when I was playing it because this is me going in with really not seeing much gameplay of it, not knowing the story. It seems to be a stealth type thing, but I'm going along and I know that I got to hide from these people with the flashlights and stuff, and that's not bad. But there was this one where I'm swimming through some water. I'm basically just treading water to get through to the other side, and a dog notices me and starts running towards me. He's in the background. He starts coming to the foreground, and as soon as I get to land, I'm like running. This dog is catching up on me. I see a gap. I'm like, I guess I got to jump. It's not one of these things you think about, and I make the jump and like just barely get to the other side. But it was a really exciting moment to not know what's coming up next and to think, okay, it's just a leap of faith. I'm either going to fall to my death here, or I'm supposed to.
Yeah, either you might jump and you might die.
Right.
Stay
I'm
there,
supposed to make this jump, or I missed something as I was running to the cliff's edge.
Yeah.
So there was that. And what else? Witness, man, I'm about ready to find me a here's your solutions guide to Witness, so I can figure out some of the logic of these puzzles.
Because they're not that logical?
They don't feel logical. I came upon another set when I was exploring, because most of the time what you do is, if you can't figure it out, you just move on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
I figured one out where I came upon a puzzle that had different branches, and it was just a straight line. It wasn't like a maze or anything. I just had to get from A to B, and there were about 10 different choices of what B could be. That sounded confusing. Anyway, 10 different choices of what my destination should be. And, I started going left to right, like, nope, that didn't work, that didn't work, that didn't work, that didn't work. Okay, that one worked. Why did that one work? And so I start looking around to figure out, why did the 7th branch take me there? And I see that the puzzle is next to a tree that has an apple in it. And I followed the tree branches, and they all split off just like the puzzle did, and the apple is on the 7th branch. So I said, okay, this is how you solve that, right? Perfect. I went to the next one. So solving that puzzle powered the next puzzle that was near a tree. If I got that one wrong, I had to go back to the first puzzle and power that up again to get power to that one. So I looked at the tree and I said, okay, it's on like the 7th or 8th branch, and moving. Hey, it worked. This is how it's done. And then I came to another tree and I was like, oh, okay, that looks like that should be on the whatever branch. Try it. Oh, didn't work. So I'm looking at it. So I realized that I was looking at it from the side where the puzzle was facing me. What I had to do was go around it and look at it from the other side and go, instead of going left to right, go right to left type situation.
Okay.
And that's how I figured out the solution to that puzzle. These all make perfect sense until I got to the last puzzle in this set. Most of the branches have been broken off. There is no apple. The apple is on the other side of a gate that this last puzzle will open. Somebody broke off a branch with the apple on it, cut off some slices, and was eating it once I found out I got put there. There is no way for me to determine where that apple was on that tree.
And is it the same situation like you said, where if you get it wrong, you have to go back?
I don't have to go back to the very first one, just the previous one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Which wasn't too bad because these two were not very far apart from each other. They were in the same area, and I just zipped back across. But again, I'm put in a situation where I guess I'm going to try every single one till I get it right.
Yeah.
This one, and which is exactly what I did until I got it right. But it still makes me wonder, how was I supposed to know?
Mm-hmm.
Was that supposed to be the solution where you just try every one till you get it right? If so, give them the finger, because it's a crapshoot.
That's
a
bad.
crapshoot.
That's not how a puzzle should work.
No.
You shouldn't have to do that. There should be some, and if there is one, and maybe what I'll do is, instead of going find solutions to the ones that I don't know, I'll go see what they said about the solution to that one, since I've already completed it, to see if I missed something. To see if they said, well, if you look here, blah, 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 this is where the apple probably was. Just to see what that might have been, to see if there is any kind of logic to it. If there's not, then how can I trust the rest of your game to involve any kind of logic like that? How can I trust the rest of your game to guide me in the right direction to solve these puzzles? I've come upon other puzzles. I was lucky enough to find a puzzle that related to the environment. Some of the other puzzles I've come upon have no real clue or sense of instruction of, here's how this one's going to work. Here's the new mechanic that you've discovered. There's nothing there to tell me that. And it's very, very frustrating, which I don't think is something that he wanted to... I don't think that's something he wanted to have happen, but... Again, I'm just trying to figure out, am I missing something here or not? And that's kind of what I want to do by looking at some of solutions to the puzzles. There's tons of puzzles in this game.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to look up solutions and figure out if there is something I'm missing, or if it is as illogical as I seem to find it to be, where this makes no sense. There are plenty of puzzles that give you a nice little gradual increase as to how to solve them. You go from a simple point A to point B to point A to point B with an obstacle that you can get around, and then he throws in 2 obstacles on the next one, and it's a nice progression.
Was there logic that you're just not seeing?
I know, and I'm wondering if I'm just missing it. I really am. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but there's a lot of these puzzles that I look at, and I was like, I don't see the clue. If there is one at all, I don't see it. So I don't know.
I would like to think that there is, because
like I said, and I don't know if you're on the phone when I said this, but I want to go back and look at the tree puzzle that I solved. I want to go and see if there's when I look at the solution for that one, if there is something that I missed. Even though I've already solved it, I'd like to know if the guide for this thing says, well, if you'd have looked here, you'd see where and then I'd say, okay, fine.
I just wasn't seeing the logic.
And that'll put it off for a little bit for me to go find these solutions. That'll give me more of a incentive to say, okay, maybe there is stuff here. Let me keep looking and keep playing this before. Because I never like to go to the solutions on these things if I don't have to.
Oh, yeah. Because when you solve them by yourself, then you have a real sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, there were a couple in the room 3 that had a bunch of different endings. And I got one of the endings, but then I was trying to figure out what the second ending was, how to get that, how to get the third, how to get the fourth ending, and I looked up those solutions so I could get those endings after I'd already completed the game. So, who we got on the phone?
Chris is on the phone.
Chris? All right, we'll talk to Chris. Hey, Chris, you're on in-game chat. What's up, man?
Sounds like you're having fun with The Witness.
Have you played it?
Yes.
Okay, have you?
I bought it when it first came out, and I can give you a few tips without spoiling things, but the puzzles were going to get a lot harder. I'm sorry, I just had to cheat on some of those other ones, further into the game, because where you're at now ain't nothing to what you're going to see coming around.
I've explored a ton of the island, and I've seen other different kinds of puzzles and things like that, and I'll give a shot at a couple of them, and then I'll think, maybe I'm too far into where I need to be, and I need to gradually work myself, into this thing so I can figure out what the solution might be. But I don't know if you remember the puzzles that I'm talking about with the apples in the trees.
Oh, yes, I remember. Just look at your surrounding and look at the branch that's on the ground with the apple on it, and then try to figure out where it was, and just look at everything really closely is about the best I can do. I can't remember exactly which one it was.
Well, I'm just talking about the final puzzle in that set was...
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but yeah, that one was...
There was no apple on the tree at all. The apple was behind the fence.
Is there a branch next to the apple?
Basically, the branch was broke off the tree. You're going to have to figure out where that branch was broke off from.
But you can't see the branch until you open the gate, and you can only open the gate by solving that puzzle. Because you go, it's next to the windmill, and when you go through the area next to the windmill, there's like all this art and stuff, and then there on a plate is this apple sliced up sitting next to the branch that it was attached to. But I couldn't see any of that until I got behind there, until I had opened up that gate. Again, I'm gonna look this up. Like I said, I'll look this up when I get home, and I'll see what I got, and I'll see how that whole thing worked to see if there was stuff that I missed.
Yeah, but there is some unique ones in there. Like you have to look at different things and from a different perspective, and then line up everything and stuff. Like there's ones with tree branches where you and shadows where you've got to follow the shadow and stuff.
Right. There was one that I did where there was a it's a bonsai tree. It was like a bonsai tree in the middle of the puzzle, and it was a simple square, but the bonsai tree growing out of the center of the platform caused a break in the puzzle. So I couldn't go, I had to go the long way around that took me in front of the bonsai tree instead of taking me behind it, because the perspective that I was looking at caused a break in the puzzle. Even though there was no break in the whole thing, if I looked around it from the other side, when you looked at it from the perspective of solving the puzzle, the environment caused a break. It was very much like, Fez, I think, but I haven't played. What's the one I'm thinking of? Like Echochrome? Do you remember Echochrome?
I don't think I've played that one, but
that's going back to PS3 days, where it was basically putting you into like a MC Escher painting, but you could maneuver the environment to cause connections that weren't normally there if you didn't look at them in a different perspective.
Oh yeah.
There's an iPad game that does that too, and I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, that's my whole thing where I'm at on The Witness, and I did get Gravity Rush 2. I haven't played that yet, but I got Gravity Rush 2.
I like the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never played the first one. I haven't because it was a PS Plus thing.
PS Plus exclusive.
So I've got it on my Vita, but I have not played it. So what else? What's been going on with you, Chris?
I got got a couple of the free games that are on PlayStation Plus, and then I also saw one that I was interested in, the Flame in the River Flood or something like that.
Flame in the Flood, yes.
Yeah, I've been playing that, and I've been quite enjoying that quite a bit.
Is that a freebie?
No, it was like $11 something, so I ended up buying it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but if it was free, I definitely would have got it too. But when I first looked at it, it wouldn't pull up previews and any kind of information, so I looked up on what it looked like on YouTube and decided to go ahead and get it.
All right.
You should play Day of the Tentacle.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I haven't played it, but I ought to get it too eventually.
It's free.
I think it is free.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus members, it is free. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but once you get further into the game with some of these other tough puzzles at the end, Lord have mercy, you might have to start bleeping yourself.
I don't know, man. There's some I enjoy Lethal Migraines says there's like 600 puzzles. That game sounds awful. To a puzzle fan, that sounds fantastic. Although I've gone over this, and I don't think he's been in the room since I've discussed this. How the originality of these puzzles are just horrible, honestly.
So I have 600 of them, and it's all the same type.
It's basically all the same type. There are some variations, but there's not enough variety for this thing to really have its hooks into me. But like I said, if I look up stuff and I realize that I am missing some hints, I will go back there with a fresh mind and really look around my environment to try and see if I can figure out how to solve these things. But if what will really annoy me is if one of the puzzles I'm looking at now is referenced halfway across or more than all the way across the other side of the island. Oh, here's how you solve that, where I have to run back and forth to figure out the solution.
Well, I
that
remember
will annoy
that's
me.
not the case. It'll be in that area, or it'll be in the local environment. It tries to teach you the basics, and then it makes it worse, harder and harder on you to try to figure out how to, do each puzzle.
And I don't mind progressive challenges. I don't mind challenges getting progressively more difficult as long as I have a basis or something to base them on, so that I can figure out what the solution is, or at least put a little thought into it to figure out what the solution is. I don't mind doing math, dude. To get the Outbreak Prime, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
The binary was involved in that. I don't mind going through the hoops. I just need to know where the hoops are for me to go through is the problem. So,
wait till you get to some of the other puzzles where you'll learn a mechanic or how, the process of solving one type of puzzle, and they'll be combined with different types where you have to have, you have 2 or 3 things you need to check, keep up with, and rules, as I would say, to solve the puzzle. So they're going to get tougher.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Hey, Chris, I wanted to ask you a question. Can you recall the longest time you spent on one puzzle in that game so far?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Some parts I just put down the controller and walk away.
like a couple hours or so?
Yeah, at least a couple. A long time. More than at least 30 minutes. Probably a minimum of 30 minutes on some of those tough ones, where I just got fed up and I just said, sorry, I just have to go to the internet to look it up.
Yeah.
I've come across puzzles where I've spent a lot of time on them, but ultimately I give up, and I don't give up to go find a solution. I give up because I think, well, I'm obviously missing a clue. I'm missing something that is telling me what's wrong here, because I found a couple in the swamp area. I found a couple there where the logic is based on previous puzzles that I did, but everything that I'm doing that seems to fit the logic is not solving the puzzle. So there's obviously something that I'm missing. And I'll go through it like there may be 2 or 3 objectives. And when you get objectives wrong, when you get to the end of the puzzle, the symbols within the puzzle will blink if you've like, hey, you missed something. You missed this. This one's not solved. So I'll go through and I'll solve each one individually to make sure those are clear. So I'll go through and do one and go to the end. While the puzzle will say, no, that's wrong, instead of all 3 flashing, only 2 start flashing. The other one stays solid, saying, okay, I got that one right. So then I'll go through and try to connect 2 of those and do it so that only one of those is flashing, thinking, okay, this is correct. I've done that countless times, and when I go through to do the 3rd one, so I can get each individual one solved. In other words, there's 3 symbols in a puzzle. I can make sure that at least one of those symbols is not flashing when I do the solution. But when I try to do all 3 together with what I think is the right way, it doesn't work. I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. So I don't know. It's very hard to describe, by the way. This is a game that's very difficult to try and describe.
When you find the one where you have to listen to the sound effects of the birds, it would probably help to have a headset on instead of listening through the speakers. So that makes it a lot easier to go through that one.
I think I came upon that. I did see a speaker where, and in fact, the paths to the puzzles were like double zeros, and then they expanded into a bunch of different zeros or whatever, figure 8s and stuff like that. So It was in the jungle, bamboo forest or something over there. So,
yeah, he spent a lot of time, developing that game and all, and I just don't see how he did it. I mean, it's amazing.
It's one of those. That's one of those things I talked to the Fireproof Game guys whenever they come up with puzzles like this. I'm always more fascinated with the concept of the puzzle than I am with anything else. When I get through with the puzzle, I'm thinking, how did they come up with that? Do you reverse engineer it? Do you go back? Do you start from backwards and work your way to the beginning in order to come up with a puzzle like this? That you had to go through all of these different ways to make it happen. I'm always fascinated by how minds work on that sort of thing. So, hey, Chris, we appreciate the call. We're coming up on our break here. So,
all right, we all have a good one.
You too, man. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
If you'd like to get in on the show, we'd love to hear from you. We're always looking to hear from you guys. Give us a call, 334-272-9228. 334-272-9228. When we come back, we'll talk about what everybody else has been playing, go into some more Nintendo Switch stuff, because there has been more talked about with the Nintendo Switch, so we'll talk about that as well. Right now, we're going into a break here. We got music from Burnout Paradise.
Woohoo!
The interesting thing about Burnout Paradise is, while they did use the EA tracks, which has licensed music,
yeah.
I always turn those tracks off. The tracks that it did come with were all of the previous soundtracks from Burnout, Burnout 1, Burnout 2, Burnout 3, and Burnout Revenge, I think. So all of the original music from those. Not the licensed songs, the original music that was done. So I went and I chose music from Burnout 2002, which I think is Burnout 2 Point of Impact. I think. Anyway, that's where this music comes from. We'll be right back with more in-game chat right after this. A little loud, sorry. And welcome back to In-Game Chat with music from... Does anybody have a guess?
No.
Last Guardian?
No, it's not Last Guardian. The composer, and I'm going to mess up his last name, and I apologize, is Michael... Oh, God, it's
Giacone?
Giacone, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, the guy that did Rogue One.
Yes. The guy that did a lot of J.J. Abrams stuff.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams
yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Still nothing?
I'm not sure what J.J. Abrams has done game-wise.
Some epic, dramatic role-playing.
Well, see, he also did the score for Medal of Honor.
So that, I was thinking, like, it sounded like...
But this isn't Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
This is Call of Duty.
Okay.
The very first Call of Duty. And the track on this one is Pegasus Bridge.
All right.
Which is a fantastic...
This had a Private Ryan kind of feel to it, without it being really John Williamsy, but you know.
This segment of the game is one of my favorite segments of any game. The Pegasus Bridge mission.
Okay.
Yeah, when you have to defend the bridge, basically. You parachute in, and then make your way to the bridge, and you have to defend it, and yeah, so...
It's been so long since I played the original Call of Duty.
Me too. And this was so good. That was such a good track. It was such a good section. Call of Duty was a great game. It was a really great game.
It's a shame what it became.
But yeah, this is great stuff. So anyway, welcome back to the show. I'm Scott along with RJ and Matt in our second hour of the program. We have not talked about what you guys have played. RJ, I turn to you. What have you been playing?
Well, a little more the same with Let It Die and 3-on-3 Freestyle. But other than that, I've played a few classics on my Dreamcast lately. I played a little bit of Daytona USA. I was trying to get through some championship modes on that one. I also spent a little time with Ikaruga, playing the imports on my Dreamcast, playing Ikaruga again, yeah. I couldn't even get past stage 1. It's been so long since I played that game, and the difficulty is just that ratcheted up. I couldn't get the timing down from switching the polarity of my ship from light side to dark side.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, and trying to get... I've never been big on combos in that game. You basically get 3 of the same color ship, and then go to another 3 in another ship, and then switch it up over and over and over again to get a big combo and bigger score. But it quickly dwindled down to the point where I just wanted to try to survive the stage more than anything else. But didn't turn out for me that good. I'll probably play it again because I still remember how much fun I had getting through that game one time. So playing it again will be something nice as well. Other than that, I played a little bit. I spent a little bit of time with Battleborn as well on the PS4. They did a little update on that.
Man,
about 11 point.
There's a game that's really having some issues.
Yeah, as the issue that stuck out to me was basically they had a new patch that put it at 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
But about all of 8 minutes playing at that point, my PS4 started sounding like a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, wow.
On full blast. So I went straight back to 30 frames and put it back to where it was, and it was
so you could change the setting on that?
Yeah, it was like going at 60 frames a second, and it looked pretty good. But like I said, after a little bit, the fans started working really hard in that system, man. So I
wonder if that was for the. I wonder if that was for PS. I wonder if that was for the Pro.
Maybe, I don't know, but because I got a standard PS4, and it just started working really hard when I had it on 60 frames, and it was like set default that way after the update was done. So I had to put it back where it was originally. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing this week.
Matt, what about you?
I've been assassinating fools in Hitman.
Okay. God, man.
Oh yeah.
Now that I'm done, now that Destiny is done, I should be coming at you guys with more of like, here's what I played, and like a whole lot more
than just Destiny.
Than just being like, just Destiny.
It's not like we all don't have a backlog amongst all of us.
I know.
I know. But like he brings up Hitman, and I'm like,
so
I should have played that.
Yeah, I'm going through, and each level that they did, you have your experience all the way up from level 1 to 20, and every time you unlock a new level, you get like either a starting location or an item, either between a weapon or a tool or something like that. And so I've been going back through, and I went, started with the first level at Paris, going, to Italy, Sapienza, then Marrakesh, and now I'm on Bangkok. And so the first 3, I've completely, gone all the way to level, 20 on all those, gotten all the items for it. And now I think I was playing a little bit more today, and I'm on level 17, I believe, in Bangkok. Just, the different ways that you assassinate people, the different challenges that you do, and that'll give you a XP, and then that'll go, towards leveling up your progression. And yeah, it's really got its hooks into me. I'm so enjoying that game.
Yeah, you still have those sporadic events where you got a limited amount of time to take this person out, things like that?
I did the elusive target.
Were you able to get him?
I was able to get him.
Okay.
It was kind of it was my first time doing an elusive target. And the way that it is set up, you're allowed to sort of restart, right? If you haven't completed any objectives. Once the objectives for this was assassinate the guy, collect the intel. So if you do either one of those, then you have to continue. Up until that point, you could hit pause, restart it. If you die, then it's over. It's gone forever.
Okay.
And so I was like mapping out, all right, which way to go on this level. How do I get to where I need to be? What do I need to do? And then like eventually, I restarted so many times. I'm just like, all right, I started getting caught, started getting shot, whatever. All right, pause, restart. Yeah. Let me try the, and eventually I go.
Do that before you die, and
you progress further and further and further, and then eventually it was to the point where I was there in the area where the one I was doing was called the Chameleon, and it's set in Colorado. And so I'm sitting there looking at the dude, and I'm looking at the piece of information, and you're supposed to kill him a certain way too. He could be assassinated like to look like an accident or whatever. So I just can't walk up to him and pop him in the head. So I'm like, all right, man, this kind of do or die moment. Because the moment I push him off this balcony, that's it. Either I complete it or it's completely done. So I'm like, okay, here we go. Push, grab the stuff, run for the exit. Yeah. And luckily I was able to do it. And the feeling of accomplishment after that is more so than just regular missions.
Yeah, performing in the clutch. Yeah, really.
It was like I was nervous. I'm like, all right, man, I don't know if I really want to go and all right, let's try it. So
that's why I've sort of I was nervous about those missions, but I've sort of relaxed on them because I feel like, look, they're here for just a short amount of time.
Yes.
So, and once they're gone, they're gone. So why not just go ahead and make an attempt?
Yeah.
And like you said, do those things so that at least you can make an effort to there before you die or something. Make an effort to complete some of those.
I really
things.
wish I would have done the Gary Busey.
I wasn't. I didn't even have the game at that time.
I kind of hoping that because they still have more coming. I think the one in Bangkok, it's not out yet. I think mine still says
Any other celebrities coming out?
No,
it was Gary Busey and Gary Cole. They're in the same level.
Okay.
And so I'm looking forward to next one that rolls around. I'll try it again, but hopefully by that time I'll know more about the level too. Because like that was the first time I'd been on the Colorado level. So I'm like,
you had no map knowledge at all.
No map knowledge. No
one shot.
I'd seen like a little video of it, but I'm like, all right, let me figure this out as I go along.
Yeah.
And it was.
Because I'm thinking you get all these accomplishments, man. You gotta make one wrong turn, and then all of a sudden it's over.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know the map. Yeah.
A neat thing that they're also doing is for the different levels. You have your main story level that you go through and have your the challenges. Then they have like master level challenges, and they're kind of like specialized sort of instances in a way in the level where like the Paris level is now decked out for Christmas, and so the master challenges revolve around Christmas theme. So you have like a Santa Claus and like like go around assassinating people as Santa. Then the Marrakesh one is like a genie. So you're supposed to be like dressed up as a genie, or I'm trying to remember what Sapiens is. Oh, it was a movie set. So like the level's like decked out to make it look like a movie set and everything. The one I'm doing now, the master level, is for the one in Bangkok is a hotel. And so it didn't really change the aesthetics of the level, but the challenges are all kind of like based on horror movies and like The Shining and everything. So like one of them is like kill people with the hatchet, like the pickaxe. You can't be seen doing it, but the body has to be found, which goes against most instincts that you have in the game. You don't want your bodies found, so you have to like kill 4 people, not be seen doing it, but then the bodies need to be discovered later. So that's actually being kind of challenging too. Yeah.
4
for the for that one it was 4. Then you have like you're supposed to drown 2 people, then the bodies be discovered. Push 3 people off that balcony, until they fall to their death, have their bodies discovered, and then the one I'm going to be working on later on tonight will be use the meat cleaver, and you have to go after 5 people.
Now, does a person have to be discovered? Can it be discovered anytime, or does it have to be no one can be discovered until you're done?
It can be discovered anytime.
Okay.
So you could, you can't be seen doing it.
Yeah.
So if I have a target, and I just get them with the meat cleaver and run out, and because I'll know that someone will come along that path eventually and discover it, then that counts. So it gets kind of fun because you could even set up your own challenges in the game and your own contracts. So you could set it up where just any random NPC. It doesn't have to be like the story mission contract. Just any random NPC could be your target. So you could actually kind of like set it up to make it a little easier on you, but also you can make it make it more challenging as well. Just depends on what you want, who you want to set as a target.
Okay.
So I'm really enjoying it. I like going through the different challenges. Doing the replayability of the game is fantastic for me because even though all right, I've already killed the guy and the other guy in this level, let me go back through and try it a different route. Let me to make my score higher or to to unlock more stuff. Which once you unlock it, then you could also bring it back into your previous game. So now that I've unlocked, the explosive rubber ducky, now I could use that. Or now that I unlocked the sniper rifle, I could go back and complete the sniper rifle challenges and stuff. So, even though you have an idea of where they are in the map and what their routine is, different things will trigger different events for them. Well, they might not be in the same area, or they might go over here now. And so, I'm really enjoying it. It's got its hooks in me. So between that's been the main thing I've been playing. Other than that, I spent some time modifying my 3DS.
Oh yeah. You said you were going to work on that.
Yeah.
How'd it turn out for you?
It went fine. It just took a couple hours to do it. I put in a new SD card, a 34 gig SD card. And one of the things that I did was all the games that I have on cartridge that I've been buying for the 3DS over the years, I want a digital copy of them in case, like, my cartridge, something goes wrong, or if,
essentially a backup.
Basically a digital backup. So I was able to download the games I've already owned, and have a digital backup of them. Although I did notice that, when I loaded up Ocarina of Time, my save games aren't there. So I'm like, all right, hey, chance to play Ocarina of Time again. Which is never a bad thing. Like I need an excuse for that. So that's what I've been, for the most part, what I've been doing.
Okay. Is that the first console or handheld you've ever had modified before? About like over 10 years ago. Wow, around 2005. I homebrewed my original PSP, and that was back when you had the first gen PSPs where you hit the button and it slowly ejector and stuff like that. It was great. But yeah, I homebrewed it. I put a emulator on there, and I was playing Super NES games on my homebrewed. I put ZSNES on my, and also the Scum VR, so I could play Scum games and Super NES games on my PSP. The only one I ever had modified things like that was PlayStation 2, I believe, so I could play imports on that one. That was the only hard thing. I had to, chips and hardwire, things like that, all types of everything.
Yeah.
But anything else as well as accessories from Japan overseas, the imports, get those in. I could play imports that way, but nothing hardwired like you did with your 3DS.
I've said this before. I tried to mod my Wii once. And,
just didn't do much with it.
Well, I went through all the steps, man. I did everything you're supposed to do. I put all sorts of emulators and everything else on the thing so they could run a bunch of ROMs and everything else. I got all that lined up. And man, when I talk about putting emulators, I was picking every single thing I could think of. Game Boy and all this other, everything I could think of. And so I got it all on there and I thought, okay, let's see how this works. So I grabbed Super Mario Brothers 3, a ROM. And I said, okay, let's load it in. I loaded it. It worked. And I was like, this is fantastic. It works. It's awesome.
I'm going to do nothing with this.
And I did absolutely nothing afterwards. I didn't go back and get more games. I didn't go do anything else. I guess I got to the point where I said, ooh, I'm able to do it. And then I did nothing with it.
Doing this one, I had Nate kind of help me.
Yeah.
And, it's a lot of take the flash card out. I mean, the micro card out. Put it into your computer. Add these files to it. Change this batch file around. Put it back in. Load this up. Do that. Take it out. Put it back in your. So there's a lot of going back and forth between your computer.
Yeah, you said 2 hours. You said 2 hours, wasn't it? A couple hours.
Just a couple hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing that and watching reruns of Psych as I was doing it.
But it's all worth it in the end, though.
Yeah. It's good to have backup. I could overclock it now. I could, just like little things that you could do to it. So I'm like, all right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay.
I'm wondering if I have enough time to go into this whole Nintendo Switch thing, and I don't. So let's see if there's, the the thing there was a couple of things that we learned more about the Switch with, is that it can take memory cards that don't even exist yet.
Then how will it take it?
Well, I mean, it'll take memory cards right now, but the size, the file size limit
getting bigger. Yeah.
is larger than any that are available right now.
Okay.
I think it's like 2 terabytes.
I don't think we have a 2 terabyte SD card.
Right. It doesn't even get that high yet. But it can support that to that.
And when it does, it'll be ridiculously.
Well, watch like SD cards not go that way. By the time it's about that size, they'll have a new median out.
Right, but I mean, it's there. I'm just so we found out about that, and then we also found out that the bundled Joy-Con grip, which basically turns it into a regular type controller function. You know what I'm saying? Turns it in like a gamepad.
Yeah.
That does not charge the controllers. There's another grip controller that is an accessory to this thing that will charge them, and it's sold for $30. So the one that comes with it won't charge your controllers while you're using it as a gamepad.
Typical.
It'll be an accessory that you have to buy to make that happen.
Yeah.
So,
merchandising.
Oh Lord, are they doing that? Because we talked about this.
I was about to say, based on what we talked about last time.
Yeah.
Are we surprised?
If you got to buy anything extra, they're gonna bend you over the barrel to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is just one of the docks is like $90 extra.
I'm surprised that they don't make the
one of the Joy-Con controllers is $50, but if you want a pair, which is essentially what you need, they're $80.
You have a Joy-Con, but the buttons for it cost extra.
It's just, man, it's amazing. And in fact, there's this whole list. Polygon did a thing where they go through buying a Nintendo Switch. Like here's what you're going to pay for. You're going to start out with the $300, but here, if you want more controllers, here's this. If you want a higher memory card, here's this. If you want all these, so they go through all this thing, and then they get down to it to see, how much it is that you're going to be paying. And we'll go over that when we come back.
Yeah.
We got to take a break here. When we come back, more in-game chat, maybe more of your phone calls. We had somebody calling in asking about what game we were just talking about, which was Hitman.
Hitman, yeah.
And so he was curious about that between Hitman and Watch Dogs 2, which is another game I've got sitting on my back burner.
I'm hoping it's better than 1.
Me too. But I've got it for PS4. I didn't get it for PC this time.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll be back with more in-game chat right after this. Here, I was just sitting there thinking about music. Which music should I get? And we played DuckTales countless times, so I went back and I was thinking of some of the other NES titles that I could grab for music. So I won't tell you what this one is. You will know what it is when we come back. I will tell you what the track is.
It's Mega Man.
Yeah, we'll be back with more of in-game chat right after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. So the music that we went to break with, STM Fuller got it right. It was Chippendale's Rescue Rangers from the NES days. This is from the SNES days, the Super NES days. This is the title theme for F-Zero. And welcome back to the show. So let's go over the pricing of the Nintendo Switch here that comes out March 3rd. Console itself is $300. And you don't get a game with that. And one of the reasons they said you don't get a game is because that's how we kept the price at $300. To include a game, we would have had to increase the price.
All right.
Also, Breath of the Wild, Zelda, will be the final game Nintendo releases for the Wii U. Nintendo, by the way. Just Nintendo. Just first-party Nintendo. That'll be the final game that they release for the Wii U. So nothing else from them after that.
Yeah, I remember times.
Boy, let me tell you, when they're done with the console, they're done with the console.
Yeah.
When they've got a new one out, they are done with the old one.
Yeah. It reminds me of the time when Sega, when the Dreamcast went away, and people were always vying for what's going to be the last Dreamcast game.
Yeah.
And so after the time, 2 years afterwards, people were still putting
They're
out.
still putting out games for the thing.
They were doing it up until not that long ago.
There was a game that released a couple of years back that was for the Dreamcast.
Yeah, it was like a lot of studios was putting stuff out, and then it went down to homebrewed and people putting out independent titles on the Dreamcast. So yeah, everyone's still trying to be the last Dreamcast game put out. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Nintendo Switch, March 3rd, $299, or $300. While you could get by with consoles like the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One without feeling like you need to buy accessories at launch, the Switch is a bit different. Multiplayer gaming on the Switch is a major push for Nintendo. It's not always going to be as simple as asking friends to bring their own Joy-Con controllers. You'll have to have those extra. So here's a list. We put together a list of items that Switch owners may want to buy to fill out their setup. Spoiler alert, it's not going to be cheap. Memory card. The Switch comes with 32 gigs of built-in storage, and the console reserves an unknown portion of that flash memory for system use. If you want to buy a digital copy of Breath of the Wild, you'll need 13.5 gigs of free space, a whopping 41.9% of the total. And that's without accounting for the unavailable reserve storage.
That's just one game.
So unless you want to buy physical copies of every Switch game, you're going to want to expand the system storage capabilities. 65 gigabyte micro SD card, $30. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's just a 64 gig card. You can get higher than that if you want to, but the prices, of course, go up. Joy-Con controllers. They come with a pair, but if you want to have friends over to play who don't have a Switch console, you'll need some extra. A lot of people did this. Whenever they got a Wii, they had one Wii controller. They went out and bought 3 more, so you could do 4-player.
Yeah, family.
Yeah, games.
Friends and family.
Extra Joy-Con controllers are $49.99 each, or it's $50 each, or $80 for a pair. So there's that. Excuse me. The Switch Pro controller. The Switch's Joy-Con controllers bear a unique design with some impressive functionality, but that makes them less suitable for certain use cases. The traditional cross-style directional pad has been replaced with 4 distinct directional buttons, and it'll be rather awkward to hold the right Joy-Con horizontally since the analog stick will be almost directly in the center in that layout. Out of the box, you'll be able to stick the Joy-Con units into a Joy-Con grip that will resemble a traditional gamepad, but even then, the layout and feel of the buttons and sticks may not suffice for certain type of games, so you'll get the Pro controller, which is basically just a gamepad itself. It is $70 for that. The charging grip, which we just talked about, that's $30. That'll charge. It'll put your Joy-Con controllers in a configuration much like a gamepad, but it'll charge them while you're playing. The one that comes with the system does not charge them while you're playing. So there's $30 there. Games, of course, are around up to $60. Some go down to about $20. So the combined total, $299, $300 for the console, $30 for the card, $80 for the controllers, $70 for the Pro controller, $30 for the charging grip, and then one $60 game comes out to $567 if you buy all that stuff. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to be buying extra Joy-Con controllers, so you can knock off $80 right there. So I'm still spending about $490 or so, $480.
And this is this console they put Ultra Street Fighter 2, the final challenges on.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
So yeah.
I don't see that being exclusive for long.
I hope not.
That doesn't take into account accessories such as a second Switch dock. So maybe you've got a dock in the main room, and then, like for me, I'd put a dock in the main room, and then I put a dock in the bedroom, so I could, go in between if I wanted to. That's an extra $90 if you wanted to do that. Because of that price, I wouldn't do it. I just put it where I'm going to put it, and that's where it'd stay. Unless, of course, they would, drop the prices on those. This also doesn't include whatever the Switch will cost for the online service that starts in the fall. They haven't revealed pricing for that. So, yeah, it's an expensive little machine when it's all said and done. And it also, right now, doesn't offer anything to me. Still.
I do want to play Zelda because, well, it's Zelda.
Well, it's on the Wii U.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a Wii U yet.
Yeah, well, those are going to be for sale very, very soon, and probably cheap. You can probably look up, you can check Craigslist or something like that. You can probably find some easy deals on Wii U's for people trying to get those off of their hands so they can get a Switch.
Yeah.
I think the market will get flooded with Wii U's at lower prices, so you can definitely pick that up to play that game. I'm right there with you. Right now, the only game that's releasing for the Switch that I want to play is Zelda. But that's also releasing for the Wii U, so it basically
Mario.
It negates itself. Mario's coming out in the fall if it sticks to that date. And so that adds one game. If I can already play Zelda on the Wii U, then that adds only one game to this thing that I want to play, and that comes out in the fall.
Portable Skyrim?
No.
Yeah, I know.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So there's just, I'm sure other games will be announced. We got E3 coming up. E3 will have some other games that get announced for this thing. They probably won't be released this year.
Yeah. So you're going to see it next week, right?
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
I want to know how the Joy-Con controllers
how
feel in your
big those
hand.
things are, how small they look. Yeah.
Because we have about roughly, larger hands. So I'm curious if it's how it fits in your hand.
Yeah, I'm curious about the play of it, but this is not a thing that is on my radar of something I want.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much where I sit on that. Excuse me.
Now, speaking of your backlog, did you ever do you played Human Revolution, right?
That was the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played Mankind Divided.
Yeah, that's one that you should play.
Oh, I've got a lot. I've never finished Tomb Raider, man.
Which one?
The
Rise?
Yeah.
I liked it.
The new one. I haven't finished it. So there's still that one. EA confirmed they will not have an E3 booth again this year. They're the first this year to come out.
I wonder if it's going to be like last year where once they start, then others will follow in suit.
Well, excuse me. We had that last year where EA dropped out, then Activision. Of course, Activision never went. I'm sorry, not Activision. Disney dropped out. Activision dropped out. There was a lot that just sort of dropped out of the thing. I think we'll see the same thing. If it worked for them last year, and I don't think any of them took a hit by not being there.
No.
EA's still doing the thing where they're going to rent out a place and the public can
Elsewhere?
go and play games. Yeah. So they're still doing that.
So they're not going to be officially at E3, but they'll be in the area.
They're not paying money to be on the E3 show floor. No.
That's fine.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping E3 goes the way of just like, here's our press conferences.
Yeah.
We're done. That's it. We're done. So that's the only thing I think that E3 really offers most of the public is those press conferences. That's it. And with the way that we can stream pretty much everything now, companies can do their own advertising, basically.
Yeah.
They can do exactly what Nintendo's doing. Just hold live events where you get to hear about these things.
You think we'll see more of Death Stranding?
Who is that?
Kojima's.
No, who's the publisher? Who is that? What company is that? It doesn't have a publisher, does it? Is it? It's not Capcom. It's not Konami.
It's not Konami.
I'm curious who the publisher
Kojima
on
Productions?
that. It's Kojima Productions, but are they going to publish that? Is it Sony?
It's a Sony Interactive.
Huh.
Okay. Well, then you'll see it at Sony's E3
booth.
Yeah. I'd like to hear some more on Destiny 2. I'd like to hear anything on Destiny 2. They haven't formally announced a Destiny 2, but what we got? Something has to be going on.
I'm sure, something is going on behind the scenes about it.
You would think that, but so far I've heard nothing. Nothing at all about what's going on with that, other than they're supposed to release one this year, and that's all we know. But they haven't formally announced it. And that's Activision. So, excuse me. What else? God, anything else going on? Not going to be here next week. Going to PAX South. I don't have any appointments lined up for PAX South.
Nothing?
I got a couple of emails for some, and I'll see some of the regulars that I always see, like Tiny Build Games and that sort of thing. I'll see them, and a couple of others, but normally it just ends up being whatever I find on the show floor. I'll just
This
try
one's
and
a
go
little
up
bit more low-key, right?
PAX South has always been very low-key, yeah. It expands every year. It seems to get bigger, and this is the third year, so it's hard for me to give you any kind of...
From the previous two.
Yeah, year 2 is bigger than year 1, obviously. Now, is year 3 going to be bigger than year 2? Does it scale back? Does it scale up? Does it go... What happens?
Stay the same.
I'm curious. Does it stay the same? Yeah. I'm curious if it does increase in size or anything like that. I'm curious to see what the changes might bring, if there are any, and how the turnout is for it. So I'd like to see it get bigger. I really would. Did
you ever go to the Alamo when you were there last time?
I did the Alamo. That was it. Yeah. I went, the first time. The first year I went to San Antonio, I went to the Alamo.
Okay.
And that was it. I don't need to go back. That was I could see it from the outside, didn't even need to go in. There's a lot of history inside of it, sure, but one trip, that's it. The Alamo that's it. That's all. The most impressive thing that I saw at the Alamo was this gigantic oak tree that is in one of the courtyards there. And I mean gigantic oak tree. It had supports because the branches were so huge. They were long and whatever. It's one of those giant oaks. So that was the most impressive thing there. So food's great out there, by the way.
Yeah.
Food's fantastic out there. That's the best part. The river walk and the food there, it's great. So, including a 5-pound cinnamon roll. And a massively large pizza.
Yeah. Well, except the birds on the river walk.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
All the umbrellas have a slant.
Yeah, the birds are kind of aggressive out there.
Yeah, all the umbrellas that are under trees and stuff, they all have a slant that leads into the water. So that when it hits, it all slides right off into the water.
Yeah. I mean, aggressive. We're talking Alfred Hitchcock level.
They really are. It's not even bravery at this point. They give no yes.
Yeah.
They don't care.
They give a grand total of 0 of them.
Yeah.
When you're out there.
Yes, I do remember the Alamo. I barely remember it because it's not that great. It's honestly not that great.
I enjoyed it.
There is something very neat that I was walking along the Riverwalk last year, and I came upon. I heard music playing, and I thought, "Oh, is there a live band outside playing some music?" And it was orchestra. It was orchestra music, and I thought, "Oh, this sounds really cool. Where is this coming from?" And I followed the music, and I thought maybe it was a live concert going on somewhere because they have on the Riverwalk they have like a concert type stage type situation. Where somebody could be playing and you got an audience or maybe performances and stuff going on. But what I came upon was this. I think it's a church, and they had a projection onto the church, and this whole animation of the history of San Antonio in Texas was being played on that. On the front of that building. It's kind of like one of those projections you see like at ice hockey games on the show
Yeah.
on the floor that look like real and stuff.
I've seen that with like not just ice hockey, but I think it was basketball.
Basketball does it as well.
It looks like the floor's like
the floor
disintegrating
falls in and stuff.
and,
Yeah. They were doing this on the front of a building, and it was fantastic. It had a whole soundtrack with it as well, and it was really good. So, did I find Pee Wee's bike in the basement? No, I did not. Apparently there is no basement to the Alamo, by the way.
Yeah.
Um,
See, I enjoyed the Alamo because, like, for me, you know, I was in San Antonio for 6 weeks, and I was out. I was allowed out 2 days out of the 6 weeks. 1 day was for Thanksgiving, and that's when I saw James Bond Die Another Day, and that was just fantastic because I was able to go see a movie. And the second was after graduation from basic, and so being in San Antonio, but not really being in San Antonio, and like actually being able to go out into the city after 6 weeks of not being able to see, you know, another human being that's not getting yelled at by a drill instructor was kind of neat. You know, like, oh, hey, yeah, that's what civilization looks like again. So
they got a lot of touristy things right there.
Oh yeah, they
like right across the street
that.
from the Alamo, there is a wax museum and a Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Little thingy.
Yeah, there's like a candy shop or something like that that has like a laser tag inside of it or something. There's a lot of touristy, trappy like things over there by the Alamo, and a number of crazies on the outside of that thing, yelling all sorts of things. Like I'm not saying they're panhandlers. They're not people looking for handouts or anything like that. They're legitimately walking with the sandwich boards and stuff like that. Yeah.
Like folks I saw in Vegas.
Very close. I'm sure. Very, very much like that.
Yeah. The random sporadic Bible verses yelled at the top of their voice as you're walking by.
Or here's a card for an escort service.
Yeah.
Nothing like that in San Antonio.
Oh, that was Vegas.
No, that's more Vegas. That's more of a Vegas thing than anything else. Nothing like that in San Antonio.
Yeah.
There might be. I haven't.
Yeah,
I don't know. I didn't see any of that.
If it was, I didn't see it because I've been to the Alamo as well, and I didn't see anything like that.
Yeah.
Oh, we've all been we've all been to San Antonio. All right.
If you're going there for PAX, and you're gonna have a good time.
Going to Texas.
Yeah.
Big Lou's Pizza.
I know. I gotta go do that.
What size is the pizza there?
48, 50, or 56.
Huge.
Oh, jeez.
Huge. It's huge.
Huge. There you go.
Huge pizza.
It's making me, just thinking about that, it's making me not want to eat it.
Great pizza. Yeah. Trust me, I know pizza. This is great pizza. It's really good pizza. I gotta work on that. Actually, I gotta work on my trumpet.
No, you don't.
I'll work on it. So,
hey, he works in radio. Of course he does.
Anything coming out next week? I got Gravity Rush 2. I wish I had played some of that so I could talk about it. But I didn't get around to playing it. I was playing inside, and then apparently we got a tornado thing or something coming from Prattville this morning.
Yeah.
I slept completely through it.
Yeah.
And we're going to get some
I woke up to it
horrible weather tonight,
I
too.
woke up to it about warnings about it hitting Troy, so I hope everyone in the area is all right.
Yeah, it's going to get bad later tonight as well. So
yeah, we're playing bad weather.
Yeah. And I'm coming down with something, so I don't even know if, I would say by the next time that we talk, which is going to be after PAX. So when I'm at PAX, I'll be playing plenty of stuff, so I can tell you all about that. But in between now and then, it is going to be medicate and recuperate, because I do not want to
that
say.
game. I don't know that game. When's Resident Evil 7? That's
it says 24th, I think.
The 24th?
Is that next week? That's next week.
Yeah.
That's Tuesday.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. I don't know what that is. I never got into the Kingdom Hearts thing, so forget about that.
It's about as confusing as Resident Evil, honestly.
No, it's way more. Way more. With like less games, more confusion.
Less games, more confusion. Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. Yakuza 0. The prelude comes out on the 24th.
I like that series.
Let's see.
You might as well go into the week after that because we won't be back until the first weekend of February.
I might have to get Resident Evil and then play it on the VR.
If you get Resident Evil, it'll be VR compatible.
PR compatible?
Yeah, it's PR compatible, I'm sure. It'll be VR compatible for you.
What you got?
Seems as they're re-releasing Double Dragon.
Oh, wow.
On the
Double Dragon does have a release date. I got an email about that.
Like the original?
Well,
it's Double Dragon 4.
It's called Double Dragon 4, but it just, I think from screens it looks like a
It looks like old school Double Dragon.
old
See,
Double
I want
Dragon,
because I remember the NES version was different than the arcade
I'm gonna
version.
get that music for one of the
Ooh,
shows.
Double Dragon.
Yes.
You should get the movie soundtrack
No.
version.
No,
No.
I want the old 8-bit video game
No.
soundtrack.
No.
But yeah, the arcade version was so much better. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I think. I remember playing both the NES version and the Master System, Sega Master System version of those. Yeah, I remember
Nothing
playing
like
both of those.
fighting all the way through these gangs of bad people to save your girl, with your brother by your side, taking them all and just to beat them up at the end.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the things was you had to earn your moves in one of them. I think the NES version you had to earn your moves in there. Arcade
because they had a special glitch where on one of the levels with some gurneys, beams and everything.
Couldn't you kick your way up?
Well, if you had to bat, you'd swing at the invisible guy, and you'd just sit there swinging, and that would grow your hearts, and that's how you got.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You cheated to get.
I just stuck a Game
stuff.
Genie in there, and I was good to go.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You know.
I think one had to earn your moves. I think the Master System version you had them right off the bat, like in the arcade.
Okay.
You just had to know what control.
I remember
combination
what
to do for
it had left punch right. I mean left attack, right attack. And
Number two was like that.
So instead of just punch and kick, it was directional attacking.
Which side you're being attacked from. I remember that one.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, it felt a little off, but I did I like that new move they put, that basically the hurricane kick they put in there. You had a devil of a time pulling it off though.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Street Fighter, like trying to pull off the fireball of the Dragon Punch in the original.
The original Street Fighter, that was nearly impossible.
You had to be perfect doing that. You almost had to be perfect in this one doing that move. But it was worth it when you pull it off. I think it took out the only person it didn't take out in one shot was the bosses in that game. Everybody else, get hit with that, you're done. Mm-hmm. So I'm probably looking forward to that on the 30th.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it looks like another Dynasty Warriors on the 31st.
Huh.
Dynasty Wars was something because it was like for about 10 minutes, but then it got repetitive, really repetitive after that. But apparently they're doing something right. They had made 8 of them. 8 different Dynasty Warrior games.
Never followed.
Oh
them.
yeah, they've gotten a lot of those.
I think the only difference was really more characters from the.
I don't think there's a difference. I mean,
well,
I played a couple of them.
Gameplay wise, I'm guessing, but I'm guessing the characters you could use and what they put in there.
I think the last Dynasty Warrior I briefly played with that Hyrule Warriors.
Okay.
Which is done by them, and it's just Dynasty Warriors with a Zelda facelift.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's shut it down so I can go home and start recuperating.
All right.
I got to go to the store and get some meds and soup.
Liquor.
Liquor?
Yeah.
I got liquor at the house. I'm okay.
Get more.
Okay.
You never have enough.
I'm good. Thanks, everybody, for joining us in the chat room, as well as everybody listening on the stream and on the radio. We want to thank everybody who called us this week. We had Chris call in, Zufu. We had somebody call in and ask about Hitman, but I took that call off the air. So thanks for that call as well. We really appreciate you guys who check us out every week. Go to ingamechat.net and join us on Twitter, Facebook, our forums at colonyofgamers.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're watching us on Twitch. Subscribe to us. If you're on Steam, join our Steam group. If you're on PS4, join our community there. If you're on Xbox One, join our group there as well. We're all over the place for you to join. Remember, no episode next week. It'll be a replay, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Have a great 2 weeks, and we'll see you first weekend in February. Here's music from, I don't know what this is. I'll play it and see. Anybody?
I can't hear it.
I have no idea.
We don't know. Write in. Tell us what this
Let's
is.
say Mega Man.
Yeah.
I'm going to start playing games like Name That Tune or something.
Yeah. We'll see you later. Castlevania.